Welcome to Bikini Supermodel Clara's Dark 3 Seductive Tales. If you love stepping with me into dangerous desires, forbidden passions, and stories that linger on your skin, please subscribe so you never miss my next adventure. This is the first of 3, and it is as much about longing as it is about time itself. She was the woman next door, Sayo, Japanese, mid-40s, with hair as black and smooth as wet silk, eyes that could make me forget where I was, who I was. There was something about the way she carried herself, poised, deliberate, as if she'd already lived this moment 100 times before. I'd watch her tend to her flowers, the light catching the edge of her cheek, and wonder if she ever noticed how my breath caught whenever she looked my way. We spoke little at first, just polite greetings over the sound of coffee pouring, or a faint smile as we passed in the hall. But there was always something in her eyes, a secret she was deciding whether to share. Then, one evening, as the summer air clung to my skin, she leaned in close and told me the truth. She wasn't from here, not from Dot. This time. Her voice was low, rich, like warm sake on a winter night, and every word curled inside me like smoke. She said, if I truly wanted to see her again, I'd have to follow her across centuries, not by plane, not by ship, but by surrendering my mind. Through hypnosis, she could guide me to her, wherever, whenever she was. The thought terrified me. The thought thrilled me. I said yes. That night, my apartment became a ritual space. Curtains drawn, candles flickering, the scent of incense curling through the air. I sat cross-legged on the floor, my red bandeau bikini beneath a silk robe that barely stayed closed, feeling the heat of her gaze on me as she knelt in front of me. She held out a small lacquered Japanese pocket mirror, its surface catching the candlelight, bending it, warping it, until all I saw was her reflection. Her words were slow, deliberate, sliding into me like a tide I couldn't fight. She told me to breathe, to let go, to let my mind drift past the present, past memory, past fear. Every sound faded, until all that was left was the rhythm of her voice. The room dissolved. The floor beneath me was gone, and when I opened my eyes, I was barefoot, on a lantern-lit street. The air was heavy with the scent of cherry blossoms and burning cedar. The night hummed with something ancient. And there she was, Sayo, her skin painted porcelain white, lips a deep, impossible red, hair pinned with jade combs that caught the light. She was a geisha now, bowing low before the shadow of a samurai sorcerer. The sight made my chest ache, both for the beauty of it and the danger I could feel rippling in the air. This is just the beginning of my first tale in Bikini Supermodel, Clara's Dark 3 Seductive Tales. If you want to know what happens next, if you want to follow me deeper into this forbidden love across time, stay close. And don't forget to subscribe to Bikini Supermodel Clara's Dark 3 Seductive Tales so you never miss the moment when desire and danger finally collide. Welcome back to Bikini Supermodel Clara's Dark 3 Seductive Tales. If you're new here, breathe in and subscribe so you never miss a heartbeat. Tato's invitation arrived like silk over a blade. She asked me to meet her master, Caputo, the samurai sorcerer who kept her floating in a limbo of time. His hall was quiet, all shadows and paper walls, candles bowing in the draft as if they already knew his power. He studied me the way a cartographer studies an undiscovered coast, polite, precise, cold. Taito stood beside him, poised, beautiful, a secret storm trapped in ceremonial calm. Caputo spoke of her journeys, the centuries she touched, the futures she described on returning, the disciples he fed with knowledge no one should own this early. When he turned that gaze to me, the air changed. He wanted me in the circle, another traveler, another instrument. He dressed it as indulgence, as an invitation to share a night together. Tato, Caputo, and me. But control has a taste. I could feel it on my tongue. Tato's eyes found mine in the candlelight, trembling hope and something like apology. We sat, the three of us, with silence pressed tight around the room. His words curled like smoke, promising devotion, discovery, pleasure, while I counted the ways he caged her between seconds. He saw the truth anyway. The way my breath shortened when Tato's hand brushed mine, the way her pulse steadied when I whispered her name. Shame doesn't live in love. Shame lives in those who would chain it. Before dawn, his verdict fell like winter. He commanded Tato to prove her loyalty the traditional way, an act I will not describe, only say that it was final, and it was cruel, and it did not belong to love. I held her as the room seemed to tilt. She breathed a single word against my ear, my name, soft as the last petal falling. Grief sharpened into focus. I reached for the lacquered mirror she'd given me in Act 1, our quiet door between worlds. I lifted it to Caputo as the candles hissed. The glass remembered her voice. The glass remembered every crossing. I spoke the syllables she taught me. Careful, reverent, unafraid. Time pulled tight, then snapped backward. Armor sagged, grandeur peeled away. What stood before me wasn't a myth, but a very old man wrapped in borrowed power, a collector of young hearts and borrowed futures. His disciples' faith flickered like the candles, uncertain, then gone. I stepped away from him into the mirror's hush and the centuries folded like paper cranes. The city's noise returned. Tires on wet streets, neon breathing, my chest rising for the first time in hours. Tato did not return with me, but love is its own traveler. She arrived as memory and stayed as light. If this story found a place inside you, stay close. Subscribe to Bikini Supermodel Clara's Dark 3 Seductive Tales for the final chapter, where I decide what to do with the mirror and whether the past will let me go. I'll be waiting between seconds.